The Umbrella Corporation. Our business is life itself. This podcast episode is brought to you by nothing.
Try it for free.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi. You were just singing the theme song.
Yeah. Because you wanted me to pump you up. Because it's early, it's in the morning, and we don't podcast this early.
Was that when the podcast is actually public? They'll hear the song though, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
They're not going to hear me going.
Aw.
So you had a baby recently?
Yeah, I think I'm tired too.
You are?
I don't know how this episode's gonna go.
So you had a, don't worry, it'll go great.
Oh, okay.
You had a baby recently?
I did. Yeah.
How was that?
It was
Did you do it in the hospital?
great. No, you were there.
I know, but I'm trying to ask you some questions right now. So where did you do it?
On my toilet in my house.
You had the baby on the toilet?
Well, I didn't mean to, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember the midwife said that you needed to empty your bladder, and then you went to go empty your bladder, but you actually emptied out a baby.
Yeah.
So do you have anything to say about that? Did you like the experience? Do you remember any of it? Or was it like taking an acid hit? Or not that you've ever taken acid, but was it taking an acid hit and you're like, you can't even translate it into the real world?
Maybe a combination of both. So it was Christmas. Yeah, I need some coffee.
We don't have any.
It's okay. We can just talk. Let's just talk.
I am.
Oh, okay. We should start over.
No, we can't start over.
Do you ever start over voicemails?
Voicemails?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god, I do it all the time.
You mean you're leaving
Like
a voicemail?
I'm leaving a
on somebody?
voicemail and it gets really bad. Like just what just happened a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I start pushing numbers on the phone until it brings me to the menu. And I choose the option to start over. I'm like, I need to do it. Sometimes I have to do it like 3 times.
Yeah, I just let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
You know, after doing a podcast for some time, you learn that you're not perfect and you can't get everything perfect. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try to make it as good as you can. But when it comes to things that are just passing, like leaving a voicemail or something like that, then, you know, if the person misunderstands me, if I sound awkward, then too bad. I sound awkward and they misunderstood me. So I think that's happened to me recently. Somebody, we were working out a time for a gig and I went to go play there, and they really enjoyed the show, and I can tell that they did, and they told me they did. And then I called them, but I knew I was in a really awkward state, but I had to call them because I'm like, when else am I going to do it? I was taking care of the baby and something else, and so I had a lot of stuff going on. So I sounded very distracted on the phone, I'm sure. So they never called me back.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm in an awkward state right now because I'm holding a baby in my lap.
And you're breastfeeding?
And I was just breastfeeding her, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was asleep. And then right when we started to record, she woke up.
I know, I was waiting for you to start. Like you were, I don't know what you were doing.
I had to
You were dawdling.
No, I was getting ready.
Okay.
I had to put on mascara.
So how come I can't ask you about having a baby? You had a baby on the toilet and you don't want to talk about it.
No, I do. I was just weirded out because you were acting like you weren't there. And you were there.
I know. I was acting like that. I was like, just kidding. Like, I was just run with it. So
I didn't plan to have the baby on the toilet. It was planned to be a home birth, but I wanted her to be born on Christmas. And it was already like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So I decided to do what I could to move things along. So she would be born on Christmas because I said to you, December 26th is a lame birthday. And you were like, no, it's not. You were like trying to defend our baby's birthday on the 26th. And I was like, yeah, it's lame. We need to have her now.
well, I mean, I really don't care when the baby's born.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't believe in signs and all that kind of stuff, really.
Yeah.
Oh, why is this microphone doing that? Okay. So, so that's it? That's all you have to say about that? Having a baby at home?
No.
Okay. And can I tell you something unrelated to that? I was just thinking about it before. I was thinking about it because I thought you didn't want to talk about having a baby, but I think that you messed up my writing style.
I messed up your writing style. Well, let's finish the baby subject. That's not related at all.
Okay. Okay.
So it's different. What is different about like having this newborn versus when we had our first newborn?
First of all, the difference, the biggest difference that sticks out like a sore thumb, it sticks out like a cone, a orange cone in the road, is that we have a toddler already.
Yeah.
That is the biggest difference.
Yeah.
That is like, one baby is manageable between two people. A toddler and a baby is, I don't know.
Well, a toddler is hardly manageable by itself.
Yeah. So doing everything that you have to do with a toddler while holding a newborn and addressing the needs of a newborn is pretty difficult. That's a huge difference.
And it's sad. I'm a little sad because when we had Luna, she got all of our attention all the time. Like I remember we would like if she was in the other room and she cried, we would race each other.
Yeah.
To try to get to her first.
And now what do we do? And
now we wait a little bit.
Now we play chicken with each other. Now we play chicken.
Now we're like, maybe Goliath will go get the baby. Or maybe, go see why is Luna crying?
Yeah, I had roommates like that. We used to play chicken with the dishes.
Ew.
Like, let's see who can stand being the most disgusting, and then just let them pile on and pile on.
That's not a fun game to me.
No, but it happens. I'm not the only one that it happened to. It happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, has that ever happened to you with a roommate? I guess guys maybe are more.
Yeah, that sounds
like a guy thing.
Like a guy thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this baby doesn't get as much attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's fine. I'm not sad about it.
I know it's fine.
I'm more sad for Luna because she's a toddler and the attention has been taken away from her, and she was on top of the world, the only child. Can you imagine?
I guess I had that experience because I was the oldest, but I don't remember it.
Well, she loved it, and she was loving it, and then this baby comes along, and she's like, when is this baby leaving?
She's doing great, though.
She takes this baby away right now.
She's never wanted the baby to leave.
Oh, come on. Seriously?
No.
She's so jealous of breastfeeding.
No, she said she'll come off of the breast, and she'll say, baby's turn.
Oh, really? Now she does that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's learning.
She was only upset about it for 2 weeks.
So it's the first.
The 2-year-old's still breastfeeding. By the way.
Yeah, it's the first.
That's unusual.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, how unusual?
Probably,
like who doesn't?
Probably 99% of 2-year-olds are not breastfeeding.
What, 99%?
Yeah, because only a certain percentage of children breastfeed anyway, and then they only breastfeed 6 months, and then it goes down from there. Like even at 1 year old, I don't know what the numbers are. I would imagine like 20% of 1-year-olds are breastfeeding. And probably like 2% of 2-year-olds are breastfeeding. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's inconvenient, but it's giving. It's very giving of me.
Is that
to be doing
abnormal?
that for her?
Is that abnormal? Is it dysfunctional? Like to be breastfeeding at 2 years old? Is it?
It's normal for humans. It's not normal in our culture, in our civilized culture.
Yeah. I see. Because you have to go back to work and all this kind of stuff. Right. That whole thing. That whole westernization thing.
Yeah. It's all very sad to me. Like we're supposed to have like 12 more pairs of hands around us all the time.
The village
helping us out. Yeah.
It takes a village to raise a child. Well, yeah, you don't get that around here.
No. And then I feel bad. It puts a lot of demands on you. Because you're the only other person in the house.
Yeah.
You know, when I've just had a baby, and my responsibility, ideally, would be to just take care of this newborn and not doing anything else. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've been cooking and cleaning and taking care of the 2-year-old and working
and running errands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
and doing the other things I need to do to progress in life.
I
haven't been sleeping very much.
Oh yeah, because you stay up late.
Well, no.
Baby, you stay up late with a baby.
What we're talking about? Huh? No, what we're talking about. It's the children. Everything I have to do. Like for example, I stay up late sometimes. Like I have a gig that ends at midnight, then I have another one that ends at 12, and then another one that ends at 10. You know. Did I say 12? No, 10.
Yeah,
2 of them end at 10. So yeah, I don't get to sleep as much. And I stay up with a baby.
And then it's hard. That's hard for me because you're gone at that time when I need help and I'm tired because I'm tired and I want to sleep. And then it's hard to manage trying to get them to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm like waiting for you to get home, but you're working. And when you get home, you don't want to do childcare at midnight. You don't want to like come home and take care of a child at midnight.
No. And usually I was just doing it before I left to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot. So are we going to stop complaining?
Well,
are we going to stop being wussies?
We manage it really well because I don't even feel like I'm complaining too much. My stress level is very low. Having said all of that. Because you're earning the money.
Yeah. So that's it. That's what it's like, folks. You want to have any kids?
It's worth it.
It is worth it. So our society is dysfunctional because of it's a very inappropriate, insufficient term, but because of westernization, it doesn't describe enough. However, I can't get into all that right now.
Pretty much every aspect of our culture doesn't work.
It's a weird thing. You know,
it's painful.
There's so many things about our culture that are bad for you as a human. Like sitting, working indoors in an office all day, just choking yourself with a tie, cutting off your circulation, wearing tight hipster pants, smashing your pelotas, your balls,
and
squeezing bras,
and your vagina,
squeezing bras,
causing breast cancer. The wire in the bras,
driving cars, drive-throughs, sitting, pharmaceutical commercials,
processed
rectal
food.
bleeding, processed food, vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, headaches, profuse bleeding out of the eyeballs.
Toilets
are bad for your colon.
Yeah. We
Sitting
have
on the throne.
Appendicitis. Well, I read that other countries where they where they squat to poop, they don't have appendicitis. So we think the appendix we just decided it's a organ that has no use, when really it does have a use and a function in our body, but we're not using it properly. We're supposed to kind of squeeze it out when we're squatting.
Yeah, you would think that, after millennia of evolving, that there would be no mistakes right now.
Yeah.
Everybody has an appendix, right? It's like, you don't need that. Just throw it out. Go under the hood and just throw out the top of the carburetor.
Oh, I thought you were saying like after all this time you
don't need this oil filter.
All this time Western culture has spent figuring things out, you would think it would be right, but it's not.
Well, it's not, because the motivations of it have been misplaced.
Yeah.
And the motivations over it are profit and that kind of thing, making money, which is an abstraction from reality. Money is a tool for trade, but when it became a tool, the way of life, then it changed. Well, what happened?
I got bored.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. No offense.
No, it's okay.
I was thinking about something. I was going back to the birth. I want you to do your impression of me on the toilet of what I said.
No, I'm not going to do it right now.
Oh, it's my favorite.
No.
Okay. Not right now.
No, I don't, my vocal cords don't feel like that agile right now.
Oh. 'Cause you woke up?
Yeah. No, because I've been smoking cigarettes all night.
Really?
No, of course not. Silly.
E-cigarette?
That doesn't count.
So, Goliath does a funny impression of me giving birth.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got bored. Excuse me, what did you say?
Sorry. I was trying to change the subject.
Okay.
Or go back to. My mind went back to what we were talking about before.
You need to find better ways to segue, because the way that you just segued, it sucked.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you do that to somebody, they're not going to talk to you ever again.
Well, I can do it to you because we have a rapport, and you know that I love you.
Yeah, but I'm saying that doesn't mean that just because you love somebody doesn't mean that you could be inappropriate towards them.
No, but you feel secure.
I love you, so
no, you feel secure.
I'm kicking you in the shin right now.
You feel secure in my love for you, so no matter what I say, it would never hurt you.
No, I feel secure because I feel secure. Your love for me has nothing to do with that. The reason that doesn't really bother me, you like putting your head down, you're like, I'm getting bored, is because I feel secure. Like in my mind, in a way, I tell myself, oh, she just doesn't understand the significance of this. Maybe one day we'll be able to talk about that.
No, I'm bored because I already know it. It's like you're talking about the sky being blue, and I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it doesn't take very long to finish talking about that.
Okay, do you want to finish? What you were
Yeah,
saying?
it's like a few sentences. You just have to have some patience. And you wait a few sentences, like, because people are considerate towards each other, and you want to finish thoughts.
And then what do I say?
No,
I have trouble thinking
when you
I have trouble
relook at
thinking
something
of what to say when I'm not interested in what the person's talking about.
when you relook at something, usually, well, I always find something new about it. You know, like, it's not like, oh, I've already seen the kitchen, I don't want to look at it anymore. There's always like something, you can look at something in a new way or find something new about it, or you can take something positive away from something that's repeatedly happening. You know,
It's hard.
I suppose so. But you know, when you grow up poor, you have to like learn all different kinds of ways to look at your little broken toy, because that's what you have, you know. Not that I grew up poor.
I was like, tell me about your toy.
I mean, I grew up. If people might have already heard this in this podcast, but if you were to transport me as a child to where I was, and you were to see that on a television screen, compared to where we live right now, people would be like, "Oh my God, call CPS," or whatever it's called. Even though everything was fine, we had plenty of food. We had great food, actually, organic food. You want to talk about fresh food, like never eating out of cans, this kind of thing. So yeah, on the surface in the neighborhood, on the kitchen wall, there was a hole in the kitchen wall. So yeah, so that's where that comes from, I think. But I'm not sure. Looking at things in a new way, looking at the same thing in a new way. That and discipline and, you know, consideration. All the important things that human interaction is necessitates, or positive human interaction. You're just nodding your head at me.
Because I don't know what to say. I'm like, yeah.
Say what you feel. So what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about how my shoulders might look really slumpy. Like I have bad posture.
Yeah.
Because I'm holding this baby.
Yeah.
And it's not the best or most comfortable chair. And I was thinking I want to talk about what we named our daughter.
So that's what it is. You just want to talk about what you want to talk about.
I want to talk about something
I'm kidding.
Mutually
Okay. So
interesting.
It is.
You know, like when, when you get cornered by a lonely person and they're telling you about their interests.
They're looking you in the eye.
And they're really...
They won't let the gaze go.
And you can't get away from them, you know, and that's really sad because they know that you want to leave and they can see you walking backwards and they just keep talking to you. They can't stop.
It's like a compulsion.
It's an addiction. Yeah, it's compulsive. Yeah.
Yeah, I being in public situations, I run into that a lot.
And I'm not good at dealing with that. I'm not good at dealing with topics of conversation that don't turn me on. But yeah, it takes patience. If I with enough patience, I can find something interesting. But if I have some beer, I'm fine.
That's weird.
The boring, I can stay interested. Yeah.
With beer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it makes me feel excited, kind of excited. Because it has bubbles in it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liquor doesn't do that. Like we were talking about before, like some people drink alcohol and they get all angry. But I just get kind of happy.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was paying attention to how my ass felt on the seat.
Okay. So you weren't interested in what I was saying. Okay.
No, I was. I'm interested in everything. Like everything. I'm interested in crazy people. I'm interested in people who have insane ideologies.
I think I'm interested in
well as sane
everything too. But if I'm not always in the mood for everything.
Yeah, of course.
If you're interested in everything, you're not
like I don't
want to
talk about politics all the time. So you know how you were talking about cornering somebody? Well, I was at a gig once and I was on a break and I went out to the front. I used to smoke cigarettes at the time, and I went out to the front to smoke a cigarette, and there was a couple of tables outside, and there was a black guy who was talking to a table of 4 people, and there was this white girl sitting at the table, and she was so into this guy. And I could see it like within a minute. And the guy was going on and on about the Rothschilds and whatnot. And the girl was really he was attractive looking, I suppose. But he was going on and on about the Rothschilds and the Illuminati because this and that and the Bushes. And I could just, like, within 10 minutes, I could just see her interest just waning. And she's like, you're breaking my heart right now. She's like, you're so cute. And why are you doing this?
Wow.
I think I've done that a couple of times.
Turn people off?
Yeah.
People with a sexual interest or just a friendly interest?
Both, whatever.
Yeah. I liked it. Well, when I met you,
you
were doing that. And I loved it because I don't know if you remember, but when we first got together, I felt like I spent all my time in silence. And you were just talking. And it was like everything you were saying was like it was coming out of my own mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was so entranced by it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I meet this person that thinks like I do and knows all similar information that I do and has the same values that I do and the same way of looking at things. And when they're talking, it's like it's coming out of my own thoughts. So I when we got together, I was kind of just enraptured in silence, just like smiling and listening.
And then and then what?
Ah.
And then what happened?
And then I got tired of listening to it. And then I got tired of listening to it because I'm like, I know. Mm-hmm. I got tired of listening. I already have to listen to my own mind in my head.
What was I talking about?
What were you talking about?
I was talking about society and inequality. It's important. You have to talk about those things.
Yeah, of course.
And but I'll tell you what's funny is as time passes, as I get older and as I learn, well, as I talk to more and more people and I interact about these things, more and more of those topics begin to become silent with me, because I realize that I need to find, if I partially want to affect society in my life, with part of my life, I realize that I have to find another route. And art, I always come back to art, because art changes people right away. Like you walk into a piece of installation art, and it puts you in a different environment, and it makes you think about things and make you see things in a different way. As an experience, as a human experience, you walk into it, and there it is. It's telling you something,
and it's like you physically touching people in a way.
Yeah, and music and paintings and editorial comics. These things make more of an impact. Drawings, abstract, certain types of abstract drawings. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I talk about those things less and less. Well, not all of them. Some of them I'm still down to.
Well, because you can stand on your little podium and talk, but that's not as effective because people can just turn off to it and not listen. Mm-hmm. But if the art is in their face and they can't and it impacts them, they can't erase that.
Banksy's a perfect example of affecting society through art while saying very little or nothing at all, really.
Yeah. Like he did like the show in Los Angeles, and he brought an elephant into it.
It was painted like Louis Vuitton or something like that, the elephant. Well, it had a pattern on it.
Like it seems like, you could take a lot of different messages from it. But
The elephant in the room.
yeah.
And I think that it was like a designer's print on all over the elephant.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just thought of it.
So you want to get back to talking to the baby about the baby?
Well, I can say another thing
Okay.
about affecting people or making a difference in the world. And so right now, for me and for the rest of my life, a big focus for me, or the main focus for me, is parenting. I think I said previously, parenting is advocacy. So by making people who see the world the way we do, we're spreading that. Yeah.
If they do.
Well, I mean, we're going to tell them our value. They're going to be raised in a way that no one else is being raised, because we're going to try to do it as natural as possible. If that makes sense. As tribal.
I understand.
Tribal as possible.
I understand what you're talking about. That doesn't mean they're going to affect society, though.
They'll
strongly.
affect society by being in it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like you never like you're already affecting society, and the effect of, I don't know what it's called.
People, if
you
I
affect one it's like it's exponential.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea what effect you have.
If I am having an effect, though, it's either where I live or not. But people don't show gratitude or appreciation or acknowledgement. At least, if I've affected somebody in a positive way, or if I've affected somebody, period.
You would never know.
You don't.
And you might see the effect, but you don't know that you did it. But they talk about like a shift in consciousness or whatever, like making people more conscious. The more conscious people there are, eventually there's a tipping point.
Did you just go New Age on me right now? 2012?
Yeah.
Hunabku?
Yeah, we did.
Did you buy into that? 2012?
I was open to it.
Really?
Not the world ending.
Yeah.
I was open to the whole, okay, more people, it's going to be a tipping point for consciousness. Yeah. And so now they say that it was, and it's happened now. So now we have more conscious people than unconscious people right now alive.
Yeah.
I would say I feel that is true.
Yeah, I'm sure it's all in the universe's plan.
I would say I feel that is true.
If the I don't know. I have nothing to say about all that stuff.
You have a lot of books in your library about all.
About what? About 2012?
No, about consciousness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
certainly.
I'm talking about. I'm not talking about 2012.
Well, consciousness. I don't like the word anymore right now. I'm tired of that word.
So whatever.
You can get tired of a word.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to find a new way.
Aware, like people that are awake.
Because when something becomes a trope, it becomes convoluted, and too many things have attached themselves to it. So you have to find a new way to say what you're trying to say.
So how would you describe yourself?
Aware. Like
Aware.
Your scope of awareness is my thing.
So I think there are more people that are aware than
have a larger scope of awareness.
Aware today. Largely in part, and thanks to the internet, which we don't have in our house.
Yeah. You like that?
Oh, that's something I thought that might be something we would talk about. Not having the internet.
We can.
I know you have a lot of thoughts about it.
Yeah, but you want me to talk about it with you? You live in the house where there's no internet.
Right.
So
wouldn't I be the ideal person to talk to about it?
Okay, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
I love it.
I want to talk about how you messed up my writing.
You asked me questions about how I write, and I answered them.
No, that's not why.
Oh. What did I do?
Because you're from white culture. And hanging out around white culture people, there's a lot of, there is no, like, with minorities, there's a lot of, yeah, I feel you, I get it. Okay. And then, but in the middle to upper middle class neighborhood where we live, the tendency seems to be, and maybe it's because of the internet actually, but the tendency seems to be the words that you're using and what they mean, and you have to try to spell everything out to a person as clearly as possible, because this is how you're communicating. You're not communicating through body language.
Well,
or
it's like we only have words. Like I don't understand body language and tone of voice and things like that very well.
Like there's an unwillingness. It's just like there's a default unwillingness to understand somebody, and you have to make me understand you. Whereas, let's say when I hang out with people from other cultures, it's more like, yeah, I'm actually trying to ride this vibe with you. I'm trying to like, oh, I feel you, I can get that, or yo te entiendo. Or,
I think it's a mixed, it's like a missed signal. Like I think, I didn't even know too much about it. They have courses in college about communication, because we have to learn about nonverbal communication in a class in college, us white people, because we don't have any idea that it even exists, and I think I've spent a lot of time misunderstanding everyone around me, because like trying to be friends with someone for a year, and it's like, that person does not want to be your friend, but like, I'm just kind of not getting the signals because they're not telling me with their words from their mouth.
Yeah. Hey,
I don't want to be your friend, so stop.
Well,
hanging around
this is a problem, because you know why it's a problem? Because you're aware that 70 at least % of communication is non-word based.
Yeah. But that's something we have to learn in books.
It's
and that's
inflection.
I haven't learned about it yet.
Body language and posture and timing.
I haven't learned about it yet. So not only have I been misunderstanding people, I've been completely misunderstood, because I picked up some harsh nonverbals from being like having like psychotic people in my life as a child, and picking up their psychotic nonverbals.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I appear really harsh. My brother has this problem too. He comes off as super harsh and mean and scary. And he doesn't know why. 'Cause he's like, he's like a sweet person, and he wants good things for everyone. And then to him, or I shouldn't talk about him, I'll talk about myself. So I have the experience too, and people are just mean to me, and I don't know why, because I'm so nice.
I think that if that's the case, and if it's something that's prevalent, like not to the majority, but let's say there's a lot of people that are going through this. If that's the case, then I recommend for anybody to, like, broadcasting or something should be a requirement in school, so they can hear themselves.
It should be
talk and interact with other people, because when you hear yourself talk and interacting with somebody else, you're like, oh my God, I am not the person who I think that I am.
So what I learned a little taste of that in getting my master's in counseling, because we had to film ourselves, and watching the film of myself, and getting like feedback from my classmates. That was really hard to hear, but just to see how really when I communicate, I look really unsure of myself. Like, is this lady sure? Like, is this woman like sure that what she's telling me is true? And so I probably get.
Can we talk about vocal fry? No. I
wanted to say, well, just going back to, you started off this conversation talking about definitions of words.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, open up any textbook. 50% of them will start in the introduction of like, first, if we're going to talk about whatever, we need to define this term. So,
right, because
and so they start with defining terms in textbooks. Otherwise, we're going to have different concepts in our minds. But so when you're talking to white people and you're using the word, if you're talking to white people, I mean, and I'm stereotyping white people, right? But if
you have to, if you're going to have a conversation.
So they,
to a degree,
you throw out the word prerogative, but you're not quite maybe using it right according to the definition in the dictionary. They're just not going to understand what you're saying, or they're going to think that you're not smart because you're not using the word correctly. But really, you don't care.
Right,
you're more like loose with the definitions of words.
There's a resistance there to understand you. Like if a girl says, "I get lucrative," like how lucrative do you get?
Right.
Whatever you were talking about before, you know what she's talking about. Or you can be the dude who goes, "What do you mean lucrative? Lucrative means da 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 da."
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't use it like that. Oh, you're a fucking riot, dude. Let's hang out with this guy right here. Like,
but it can
he's
also
surfing on the edge of life over here.
It becomes a problem when, like, if you're telling me something and the words have like I know the correct definition in my mind, but you're just throwing the words around. I really understand you to be saying something completely different than what you're saying. And then I find out 10 minutes into the conversation that you weren't saying what I thought you were saying.
I know you.
And then we have to go back to the beginning.
Yeah, it's tough. You have it hard too because you've never hung out with Chicanos.
I've never hung out with anyone that's not white.
Oh, so you have it really hard then.
Yeah, but anyone I've hung out with that's not white, they were the minority in the room. They were, maybe.
Yeah, or they were from a
they weren't being
country.
Their full self. Maybe. I mean, I've had a lot of minority friends, of course, but I've never hung out with a group of minorities.
It's a shame. It's fun. Just ask the police.
Well, I mean, and never, the word never, like, of course I have, but in general, I haven't had, or I would say whenever I have had the beautiful experience of hanging out and being the minority, it's really fun and exciting, and I love it. I love traveling. But as far as like for it being an extended amount of time to where I actually understand, why does it feel different? What are these people? How do these people live differently?
Oh, the baby's crying.
The baby's crying. That's what our 2-year-old says.
Yeah. Baby's crying.
Baby's crying. She's really sweet. She kisses her. She gives her the pacifier. She wants to help change her diaper. She wants to carry her, but she cannot. When she wants to hold her, she says, "I want to hug a baby."
Can I ask you a question? Not about what you were talking about, the baby, which I love. But Do you think that there's a lot of white people who, I'm starting to not like that term either.
White people?
No, I mean just like I know one other term, Caucasian, European American. Actually, I like that one. Do you think that there's white people do you think a lot of white people tend to be willing to identify with a label of being white? Because if I was solely white, whatever the fuck that would mean, like, because I wouldn't know what it would mean, I would not identify with it. When somebody said something about white people, I would be like, they're not talking about me.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't people like Irish or Scottish or German, or why are people so willing to just fall under the umbrella of like white? Oh, you're attacking me and my people. Like, like you're from all over the world.
Well, I don't know. I've never talked about it before or identified with it before. I've always felt like I didn't have an identity.
You're behind the microphone right now.
I've always felt like I didn't have an identity. Like white people have to make an identity because there's nothing to be proud of or identify with. So we have to be like, I'm Irish, I'm Scottish, I'm Italian, I'm redneck.
But they are.
I'm Southern.
But you are.
I'm a Yankee or whatever.
But I'm saying people
I'm from
are
California.
either Scottish or British or German or
But me,
Irish.
I don't have any of that. I have that blood, but I don't identify with it. I don't celebrate, if you don't celebrate the
okay, yeah, the
culture,
cultural
then you don't
traditions.
have it. Like culturally, I have like suburbia.
Yeah, so really the whole race thing.
I'm suburban.
Yeah,
but nobody says that.
No.
I'm suburban.
You just invented it right now.
I'm suburban, but it's nothing to be proud of.
No, you should totally be proud of it right now.
What?
Like you just make it
What
like
is there
fun.
to be proud of?
You just make it fun.
I drive in my car to the mall.
In my Suburban.
It takes 15 minutes to get to the grocery store. And it takes 20 minutes to get to school.
Mm-hmm.
And that's A-okay.
Yeah.
Because I love driving around in my car. Listening to CDs.
Mm-hmm. So there's so the race thing, as far as it's concerned, is a farce, because really it's about culture. It's about your environment, like what you were raised in.
Yeah.
Now, the part that has to do with race has to do really with how you look. Mm-hmm. It's lookism. It's appearanceism.
Yeah.
More to the point, because if you're
a black dude and you're dressing white and acting white,
well, you're still going to be black.
You're still going to be black, but you're going to be accepted. Like, oh, there's one of the good ones.
You're going to have to overcompensate. You're going to have to be like, oh my God, I totally love Iron and Wine, dude. Like, Iron and Wine is the Postal Service.
But if you're a black dude, but then like if you go home and you wear like more black culture clothing.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about this right now.
You're going to look different.
Because it's complicated. But okay, so yeah, so
well, I don't know, you're just talking about like seeing people, and it's based on how they look. We judge people based on how they look.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
In the army,
mm-hmm.
when I was in the army and we had to wear our uniforms every day, right? Mm-hmm. It really makes you see everyone as equal to you.
Because you can't express yourself with your clothes.
You cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like, oh, this person's still black or white or Hispanic, but the ground is pretty equal besides the rank on your chest. Mm-hmm. And then when we would have like civilian clothing holiday, we would have the days where you would see everyone wearing their civilian clothes. And it was shocking to me, because these people like, where I saw them as standard, level 8 or whatever, they would go down to like a 2 because they're dressed like hood rat or whatever. I don't know what hood rat means, I'm saying racist things. I'm talking about what was going on in my mind like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Before I knew about privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see that. And that's why schools do the uniform thing, because they don't want people to waste their time with that kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's why I would be supportive of that, because it does make you work better together
But
and
people would
respect
call you
each
like
other more.
communist, maybe.
I
Maoist.
loved wearing a uniform. I loved it. I loved not having to think about what to wear.
Oh, it's great. My
It's
father
wonderful.
did that, you know?
Yeah, with his clothes.
My father
He was like a cartoon
was
character.
a mechanic.
Yeah.
And my father worked as a mechanic every day. So he had a shirt that said his name or his last name here. And not all of them did. And they were like Dickies shirts. It was a Dickies shirt and a Dickies pants. And they were basically the same color, all of them. And that's what he wore. And Einstein did that. So my father is as smart as Einstein.
Oh, yeah. Because it saves you
Tons of energy and time.
But then I know it takes energy and time to choose clothing, but it's part of my artistic expression, and I'm aware of that.
Yeah, it is an artistic expression, but it's also a language. I have in my wardrobe, I've had, I don't care about it so much now. I don't know why. What happened to me? I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, but I try to. I give it an effort, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the most fashionable person out there. And I think it's fun, and I think it's great to be so. But my priorities, I don't know however my priorities are working in my mind, it's not up there. And how you dress can change how the police are going to interact with you. Mm-hmm. Now, when your dress is your skin, and you can't take that off, because really it's like a dress. It's like an outfit that you're wearing that you can't take off.
Yeah.
You know, or if you get old and you're a female, and then you start, because of the way our society is, you start becoming irrelevant and invisible in the cafe or whatever.
Because you're wrinkly.
For however it works. You're not like regarded as a sage or as an elder or somebody who's important because you have accumulated social knowledge and all kinds of other things, you know, and everybody's just walking right past you, you know, and maybe treating you like you're crazy. Mm-hmm. So you, even as a senior citizen, you have to find a way to plug into society. So people will start like dyeing their hair purple or wearing crazy outfits to show society, hey,
I'm relevant.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm
over
with
here.
it.
I can, you know, I'm individual. You know, I've never treated elderly people like that, but I'm from a different culture.
Yeah.
And
I think, well, in the dominant white culture, the recurring theme is fear. So you see an old person, and there's an element of fear to it, because maybe they're crazy, because they're old, and you don't. Not that they're going to hurt you, but you just don't want to be around it. Or maybe it's a fear of death and dying, or a fear of confronting that they are being ignored, or confronting that you ignored your elders and your family,
or a fear that the people that are hip in the cafe might see you,
or a fear that you're going to get cornered and they're going to be telling you about the old days, and you don't have time for that. So you just ignore them.
Yeah, and then that's a fear of interrupting them and saying, I have to pee. Excuse me. I have to pee. I have to go to the bathroom right now.
You do? I have to do
No.
Oh.
I don't. But I'm saying that's how you do it. You see how I just did it? It even worked on you. It even worked on you.
Yeah, but then when you come back from the bathroom, then what?
Oh, you go out the other door.
That's mean.
Then you come back on your phone.
And you give them a wave, like, bye.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to take this phone call. And you're like,
Bye.
Excuse me, I have to take this call. Un minuto, por favor.
I'm enjoying this conversation. I thought we were going to talk about having the baby, having no internet, and the KonMari method of cleaning.
Okay, which one you want to talk about? We have time for one. We're at 55 minutes.
I know. We're like out of time now.
We could still talk about one more. KonMari, having no internet at home. Come on, audience, you vote.
The
Go ahead and
baby.
call the number
They want to hear about
down
the
here
baby.
on the screen. Call this number and tell us which one you want us to talk about.
Boop, 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 boop. Okay, they want to know how to pronounce our daughter's name. They can't figure it out.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, Sochi.
Oh, okay, Sochi.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Sochi Quetzal.
Sochi Quetzal. Sochi Quetzal.
It's either Quetzal or Quetzal. We don't know.
I say Sochi Quetzal.
I say Sochi Quetzal.
Sochi Quetzal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's not very interesting to talk about.
Well, do you want to talk our daughter? We had our daughter at home.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I think it is dope as I think it is super cool. Like I had no idea really that you could even do that until you introduced me to that idea of doing that. I mean, I thought it was cool. I had a friend, Kali, his name was at the time. He did that with his son or daughter, but I didn't see it. I wasn't around there. He was in a different state. And so I knew it was out there, but he was the only person that I knew that did that.
And he was a really out there person.
Well, yeah,
he was not a regular dude.
No, he was not.
Yeah.
He was an amazing guy.
Yeah.
And so not a regular dude in a good way.
Of course.
So when you were very adamant about that and you were like all about doing, I was too. And it takes, fortunately, I'm a very mentally flexible person most of the time. And it didn't take much wrangling at all from the Western medicine thing. Like, oh, you should probably be in a hospital, and I already have like everybody doubts about.
Yeah. Like you just had to watch one documentary to be convinced
it was the business of being born is the one that did it for me.
You're like, that's enough.
Yeah.
Right there.
It has all it has all the major themes of the information that you need to know.
And it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, so now we've done it twice.
Mm-hmm.
You were nervous the second time around.
I was nervous.
Well, you were kind of worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried both times. It's a worrisome thing.
I think
there's blood involved.
Yeah.
And you don't know if the baby's going to be healthy. You don't know if the baby's going to come out alive. You know what I'm talking about? There's a lot to worry.
Yeah.
It's like if you're driving in the car with my two daughters and I'm not there on the highway.
Oh,
and you're on a road trip.
Like I'm going to do today.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
you're worried right now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's worrisome.
I'll drive slowly. I'll drive 60 miles an hour in the right lane.
Yeah.
Is that the safest way to go about it?
No, just stay with the flow of traffic.
I like to follow someone.
If they're going 90 miles per hour,
I like to get behind a semi truck. Far behind it. Not close up to it. Far behind it, but and just trail it.
So here's my advice to you. Ready? You might have heard this before, one or two of them, but for every 10 miles, keep
car length.
1 car length.
Mm-hmm.
10 car lengths for everything. So the car better be way, way over there in the distance. Like you see that speck over there? You mean on the windshield? No, over there. It's a car. So you need to do that and stay out of people's blind spots when you're driving next to them.
Yeah, I learned about that from you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
It's an accident saver. A fender bender saver. Mm-hmm. Preventer.
Mm-hmm.
So why would anybody want to do that, right? Like why would you want to kick back in somebody's blind spot? I see people doing it on the highway all the time.
I used to do it, but I
either speed up or slow down.
I used to do it, but I was just waiting for the car to pass me instead of me slowing down. Because I'm not. My tendency wouldn't be to speed up and pass the car. It would be to wait for it to get ahead of me. But so, yeah, it didn't occur to me to slow down and let them get out of their blind spot. Yeah.
So what is it that happens with people in their cars that they become enraged in their cars? You as a counselor, as someone in the social sciences.
I would say it's similar to trolling on the internet. You know, you're in your little bubble and no one, it's a safe place to like kind of let go your anger, which is right beneath the surface. And it's not anger about the cars and the traffic. It's anger about other things in your life, and you're not addressing that anger. So you address something else instead. And it's like, you know, it's the classic, the man is he's shamed at work. His boss yells at him in front of everyone, and he goes home and he kicks the dog and yells at his wife and beats the kids or whatever.
So that, and people, the automobile is a very unnatural situation for people to be in, because to have something with that much power at a hair trigger that is connected to your emotions, like a gun, really, like to have to that on your foot, the gas pedal and the brake, you know, that's not very natural to have like 2,000 horsepower on a hair trigger. So I picture people in a car like overweight people. I picture them like overweight hemophiliacs trying to get around a crowded kitchen. Because they're afraid they're going to scratch each other's skin. That's it. So, people in cars, they would never behave in real life the way, I mean, outside of a car, they would never behave that way on the street, walking next to you, the way they behave in cars. They wouldn't cut you off before you're going to go into the door. Because they wouldn't like walk like one pace behind you, like, hey.
Yeah, it's just like trolling on the internet.
And then like be flashing you with a flashlight.
The stuff you write when you're being a troll on the internet, you would never say to someone's face. Or in general. You're not going to say that.
Yeah, I've never been that
face.
kind of person on the internet. I've never been that kind of a person on the internet. Like,
I've been accused of being that kind of person, but it's not. That's not fair. Just because like maybe like posting links or like talking about like if like with birth being the subject, like I have different views about society and this or that, and maybe I'm trying to like advocate on the internet and share different things, and so I've been accused of trolling on Reddit by like posting links to things that are different perspectives. Repeatedly. People don't like that. They're like, we're trying to talk about this over here, so go away. But I don't think that's trolling.
That reminds me of a lot of situations in academia where you can't introduce, or in politics, like where if war, for the past like 10 years, if war is off the table and you're trying to introduce some idea that does not involve war in it somewhere, then your perspective is irrelevant. That's it. That's the end of the podcast.
Okay. So next time we'll talk about this baby.
You didn't even show anybody the baby. The baby's been sitting there the whole time. That's why I have the camera higher on Patricia.
Here, we can show.
She's like whipping out her
the back
boob
of her head.
every now and then. This baby's name is Sochi.
She's 4 weeks old today.
She's 4 weeks old. So that's a month.
Yeah.
She's a month old.
She was born on Christmas.
Who do you love more, this baby or Luna?
Well, it's for some. Oh my God! Like the hormonal shift, like giving birth, was all about this baby, and Luna became a stranger, and so I feel like I have to make a whole new relationship with her right now because she really became like someone else's strange, gross child.
That's terrible.
Yes, horrible.
Not to me. I love her to death.
Yeah, but she was so much. She felt like so much of a threat that in my mind, like she became like just a threat and not my
Tell
daughter.
us, baby,
my
to say
child.
something. Tell us, baby, to say something in the microphone.
Baby,
Come on, put her
here
up some.
she can like breathe into it.
She's like, no, I'm not gonna breathe into it.
She's like holding her breath.
Okay. Thank you, Patricia Borges, for coming on the podcast. If you want to check her out, she has a Twitter, and you can hire her to counsel you. She is a degreed, she has her master's in clinical counseling.
Clinical mental health counseling.
Clinical mental health counseling, to be exact. And that's it. Thank you very much. We're back. We've had a hiatus because having a toddler and a newborn is kind of
Time consuming.
time consuming. Bye.